Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News, baby dolls. I am now a multi-5-time survivor from the attacks coming out of the Matrix. Isn't that wonderful? What did Eric Wall's boyfriend, Udi, do? Did he block Sommi? Yes, he did. Find out in this episode why he did. We have more stuff coming out of the US government. What did Arthur Gaze say about BTC and Ethereum? His targets, 250K BTC, 10K ETH. How realistic are they this year? I've got all of that coming your way and more. But first, you and I are going to have to look at the monthly candles because that's what we've been reduced to. Monthly candles of Cope. Now, when we're looking at monthly candles, friends, as well, I show this to you every single day just to remind you we are in a bull market. Green monthly candles. We're on the fourth one out here. A lot of people are concerned still. You know, are we going to end early? Is it all over really, really soon? It could be. It could be. This is the ETH chart, friends. Finally, hopefully we break out of this wedge, but man, it would be such a scam if we come back in. Oh my gosh. You just never know when it comes to these things, right? I really hope that we do end up thrusting up. Ethereum around 3,600. We've got a long way to go. Before I even go through the deeper stuff, friends, I just want to show you something. This is actually the deepest of all. Well, but firstly, I'm going to have to play some Pikachu in the Jungle music just to kind of transition us. Okay. In 2017, pretty much 90% of coins broke their high in that cycle, okay? Trump's last cycle. 90%, right? The ones that didn't, they just straight out rugged you. But it was okay, right? Because if one rugged, the 9 out of 10, everything did 100x. From 2015 to 2017, literally everything did 100x. The average coin actually did 250x. The number just so big. The real number is actually 330x from the bottom. It's so gargantuanly big, you couldn't believe it, right? But no one even knew what crypto was back in 2015, okay, to even get in. Now, remember that number, 90%. In 2021, only 20% of coins broke their high or touched their high, okay? Now, part of that statistic, this is in the top 100, okay? Part of that statistic includes Litecoin, which I'll show you now. So this is a reality we have to deal with, okay? Litecoin, if you check it out, look at this. It gets counted as touching its high back in 2021. But look, it came back down and just dropped back in the middle of the range anyway, dropped 90%. So that's part of that 20% statistic. Okay, so you had 90% and then 20%. Why? You know why. Market caps are bigger. There's a lot more tokens. There's a lot more competition. Network effects keep changing. The narrative keeps changing and people want different stuff. So that's a reality of it. Now, in this cycle, I know everyone's going to be turbo bullish, but like, I'm just saying, man, the trend of the amount of coins in the top 500 coins or whatever, the trend of them touching or breaking the all-time high, it's obviously been going down. Now, I really hope it doesn't diminish in this one. I hope, because we've waited longer, I hope we get we hit about 20%. That'll be good enough. You know what I mean? That's a lot, because a lot of dead coins, a lot of poop coins, a lot of ones without communities and stuff out here. So this is just a reality of it. I'm not here to stress you out. I'm just telling you, like, you know, that's just don't be surprised if I'm making videos in a year or two. Hopefully in 2 years if we have an extended cycle, and I mentioned that statistic. Now, why I am leaning more towards it's possible that doesn't diminish, right? It's because it's not like Trump or news or anything else out here. It's because we have been in a bear market for a lot longer than before, okay? And you actually see this in OTHERS-BTC. That's why I show you the OTHERS-BTC chart right here. Right here. So this is the OTHERS-BTC chart. So if you look at, friends, this is actually the real altcoin mania. Okay. We are now in a bear market, friends. Think about it. It's been 1,522 days. Think about this. This is a monthly chart, 52 months. Actually, 50 months from the top. If you want to be like, if you say, hey, Sommi, I don't want to cheat. I want to be conservative. Let's use this double alt season wave, this scam one December. Okay. We are still right now, assuming this is the bottom right here, this is 42 to 43 months. If you go back and check what it did in 2017 cycle, look at this. From OTHERS-BTC to the actual bottom, it was only 19 months. If you want to consider this the double bottom, okay, 35 months. So compare, look at this number again. If we compare how long this has gone for, 42 months, okay, what I'll do now, I'll draw a number, 42 compare that to the numbers we just saw right now. I mean, this is like, let's be conservative again. This is 34, okay? Now, basically what we've done is, we have had an extra 8 months of pain. And in crypto, man, 8 months of pain, you multiply that by 4, that's more like 3 years, man. 3 years of pain equivalent, right? You can actually check this out here as well if you go back in time. So this is 2015. You go back here. Maybe this was around, you can't get the actual real date. I'd have to match it up with BTC. But this would have been as well something around, I think maybe around here. Maybe this is the December one. Yeah, so this was about 30 months. 30 months, 10 to 30 months, in the previous cycle. So as you can see, our one's been 42. And you know why, right? It's all come down to the business cycle. So if I was to make any case why I think in this cycle we might not diminish, that's the reason why. It's because the market said, hey, remember there's always a yin-yang with these. It goes, well, if you don't want to diminish, I have to make you pay a price somewhere. Because the market is smarter now. There's more people in. It's tougher. So how do you make everybody pay the price? You pay the price with time. And that's what we've been going through right now. So remember, I'm just guessing, man. It is still possible. You go, hey, Sommi, what if we get screwed and it's a long bear market like we have and it's diminishing? Okay, man, we got kicked in the nuts. We just got to get up and live to fight another day tomorrow, okay? So that's why I'm just telling you, in the last cycle, only 20% of coins touched their all-time high or broke it. And so if that repeats again, I mean, you got to think about it, friends. Out of 100 coins, only 20 going to do that. That's really rough. And by the way, Tron and XRP are part of the winners in this cycle, but they lost in last cycle. You see, that's what makes it a bit more complicated. Now it's time to make it a bit more family friendly. This is the weekly chart for BTC. This is our guiding star. The green weekly super trend is still here, and we need some pumpy G music just to remind ourselves that we're here to pump it. I'm going to show you the daily super trend for BTC out here. It's up. This is pretty much it, what we're doing here. It's in the green daily super trend. But yeah, the daily can always flip, red and green. You can't really make much of it now. Just telling you, friends, based off blockchain backers fractals. I mean, bro, he's literally saying it is all over. And then we're literally going to Goblin Town. And literally like this. Bang. He says it's all over soon. Friends, have you noticed, right? Have you actually noticed a lot of these short-term, everybody who uses a daily chart, I've noticed, you guys all do the same thing. You always go, first we're going to go up really fast, and then there's a Great Depression. They all do that. How many times? I've covered it for you thousands of times. Go, oh, this guy thinks. It's always that, friends. It's always the crypto crappo stuff, isn't it? It's like, don't worry, we're going up, and my coin's going to go up 30x, but yours isn't. And then I'm going to sell, and it's all over. I've just seen it over and over and over again. You know what? We've got to play some angel music just for those people out here. Now, I'm going to step outside the charts, and I'm going to remind you, a lot of people say, it's over, the charts are following. Look, man, I mean this with deep respect. Your charts can go and get trucked, okay? You have a chart of crypto up and down. Okay, I have 100 years of business cycle data, and I can tell you the business economy has not even started expanding yet, okay? We've literally been contracting for 32 months, okay? Now, we could easily do this, yay, and then go back for another and like get the worst in history. We could do that. It just, when you have an AI backdrop, when you have the sex robots coming, when you have quantum AI, friends, I'm literally using AI every day. I've been under attack by the Matrix, friends. ChatGPT, it's got a few quirks to go through. So I found out a lot of the reason why my problems are occurring on my PC after all this is because ChatGPT, so there's a couple of the quirks, right? So when things were first breaking, it gave me a set of options. It goes, hey, do this. And one of the options it did was, it says, go to your Google Chrome and disable GPU acceleration. Disable it, right? So after I upgraded everything, even after that, it's still using my old data. It's like almost forgot that I did that. So then after, it kept giving me like all this information. It was always like disable GPU, disable GPU. And then like after, I'm not joking, man, I've been speaking to it for hours and hours and days and weeks and months. Literally, right before I start Juicy News, it says, hey, why don't you try enabling the GPU acceleration for Google Chrome? And I did, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is better now, right? So I'm just showing you like there's a bit of quirks and stuff. It's not perfect, but it's improving at a fast rate. That's the most important thing. Now, speaking of important things, our friendship, here is the Bitcoin dominance still hanging around out here. I'm not going to be concerned unless we go down there. I'm not going to be concerned. Friends, here's the thing, okay? You know the gentle sir, I've got to remind you, friends, you know the gentle sir who fixed my computer, okay? Smart guy. He doesn't watch crypto stuff. He doesn't watch it at all. He recently got in a few months ago. He was actually going to cheat already. I think he put in like 50 grand altogether. He was going to cheat already. I'm like, no. You can't cheat now. You can't cheat now, right? He doesn't even know what cheating is. It's kind of funny. So he's like, oh, it's going down, right? But it's funny. He said to me, why he's so skeptical is because he's not in crypto, right? And he says, oh, I see Trump and I see this government stuff. He goes, there's no way this thing can last forever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do you watch my show? He didn't have to watch my show, mate. And I'm like, dude, you're on the right path. I go, but you're mid-curving it now. You're a bit too early with that thinking, okay? We have to, so right now, Trump's not budging. He's all in crypto, World Liberty Finance, Trump meme coin. We're like turbo long crypto, right? This is the George Soros thing. We are joining the bubble. We're joining the bubble. There will be a point at the tops, the euphoria, where I start to say, guys, look, it can't get better than this. Every single politician is pro-crypto. The Democrats have absolutely no power. It's all pro-crypto. And crime season is happening. There will be crime season. There'll be the next BitConnect. And I'm going to say, look, man, they're going to roll some of this stuff back. And even he was guessing. He said, you know, in the next, the government switchover stuff, they're probably just going to wind stuff back just because Trump liked it. And they might like wind a bit too much back, you know? So, and I said, hey, but you can't think like that now. If you think like that, you never make a move in the first place, right? So I'm also thinking with these Bitcoin dominance, friends, that's why I'm saying like it doesn't make any sense for me for a pro-business, pro-crime, pro-Epstein Island administration for Bitcoin dominance to stop anywhere near here. Like, to me, it's racist as long as it's above 48%, you're very, very racist, right? And you have StableCoin SuperCycle. Oh, man, I've got more of that coming as well. So, friends, I just want to quickly show up and start here by telling you as well. Eric, so, friends, Udi is Eric Wall's boyfriend. Now, I made this post. You want to see the post that got me blocked? This is gold. Okay, so Udi made another anti-Ethereum essay. You know this picture, friends? I posted it and I replied under him. And all I wrote was, higher. That's all I wrote. As in ETH-BTC is going higher. Look what I did. Firstly, it's kind of funny. He put the linear chart. I put the log chart. Right? And you want to read what he wrote? I'm going to read for you what he wrote. Okay, look what he said. He said, it took the Ethereum, so the Ethereum lovers, precisely only 1 week to abandon 5 years of DeFi chain and the world computer narratives and replace it with MicroStrategy with 3% yield. So what he's joking is, he's quoting someone. Actually, not even joking. So Eric Connor says, I hope Ethereum wins and Bitcoin loses. So it's kind of funny. Man, God bless you guys. You guys fluked Bitcoin. You guys don't even know how to invest. But that's okay. You know what I mean? That's the world. That's how it works. They have no idea how to invest. Like, narratives, bro. Have you learned anything about the world's greatest investors? Not a single one of them uses the N-word, right? I'm not talking about that N-word, because who cares about that one? I'm talking about the real N-word. Narrative. Not a single person, bro. Go read any of Warren Buffett's 100 plus, you know, his letters to shareholders. Not a single time does he drop the N-bomb. Narrative. Not a single time. He doesn't care, bro. He doesn't care. It's good. But you know what? It doesn't matter, friends. Look, at the end of the day, these people don't learn. Okay? They only learn by the price. Yeah, no one's listening now. It's boy who cried wolf. They're like, oh, but ETH-BTC's low. Yeah, okay, yeah, bro. But when ETH-BTC's high, what are you going to be saying? Oh, I wish I went back and I listened. And I'll say, what do you mean listen, bro? It was on the chart. The price was cheap. What do you mean listen? Listen to anything. You mean listen to the market? You mean buy a low price? Look what else he said. He goes, the most amazing thing is that Ethereum maxis think they can actually win. He goes, after laughing at Michael Saylor for 5 years, they've now looked into this for 1 week and they think they're sure they figured it out. It's kind of funny. He says, the ETH Tards and Tom Lee dialogue reminds me of Michael Saylor arguing with Bitcoin maxis on their podcast 4 years ago. And Michael Saylor's telling him, guys, you need to buy more Bitcoin. And they're like, no, we want to talk about how bread is bad for you and your diet, and women shouldn't be allowed to vote. So that's what he's making a joke out here. So it's kind of funny. If you're he's making a joke, and then he couldn't take this. This was just gold, bro. And look, Vince, yeah, look at this box. Look at this box. I'm like, bro, you're literally bottom ceiling. StableCoin SuperCycle, bro. Do you know how governments work? I know how governments work. I've got a lot of UFO videos. I know exactly how they work. And guess what? I do the same thing if I had to have full control of the population as well. You'd have to do the things they do. Part of the things they do is getting all the power in the world. How do they get all the power in the world in crypto? I don't know. Maybe blacklist functions on their stablecoins. Maybe smart contracts enabled on their stablecoins. Maybe deploying all the stablecoins and putting all their stablecoins, which is just their fiat, which they mint. Why would they go and choose a currency they can't control? They wouldn't go do that, will they? But I'm telling you now, no one believes you until it's higher, okay? So this is my badge of honor. I mean, this is so much coke, bro. Look, friends, I hope one day when we all make it, you really appreciate what I did, okay? Look, why am I a unicorn, okay? I yell when things get low, bro. I yell louder when they get low. Where's GCR? Where's all these other people? They're gone. They're gone. Where are they, bro? Prices are cheap. I'm still yelling. Because you know why? Everyone's fence there. It's hard to face the crowd when you're bullish, right? You're long for long term and the prices drop. And you go, okay, bro, it dropped. It's cheaper. I'm still bullish. Okay? It's very hard to have someone as brazen and confident as me to be like, of course it's fucking cheap. Right? But I know it's tough. It's tough because people, they're scared of the memes. They're scared of these mid-curve guys that come out. I can't believe, friends, Udi. So he took 15 minutes away from pashing his boyfriend, Eric Wall. Bro, you are literally writing your essays down here. Like, it's just, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Moving on now. Arthur Gaze, friends, has a target of Bitcoin to hit 250K and meth to go to $10,000 by year end. He also said Trump's wartime economic policies create credit growth that flows into crypto, with stablecoin issuers buying T-bills to finance the government deficit. So he's basically saying meth is on the rise, friends. And you know meth, okay, I think, friends, if I check it up now, yes, I've just confirmed. So having sexual relations with somebody gives you 200 units of dopamine. Taking meth is about 2,000. Now, I can't confirm these. Why? Because I've never had sex before. But I've got to take their word for it. Now, Arthur Gaze, friends, with his 250K BTC. I mean, everyone's got the 250K. Just imagine. I'm just imagining, friends, someone's parents are listening to this. What's happening with that crypto stuff? It's not going up yet? Yes, it's been 4.5 years. I know. What if it doesn't go up from here? I mean, I don't know, bro. All the targets are always up. You know what I mean? So where would 250K take us? It's the highest fib. It's right here. So we're in the Tasty Tube area. Remember, this is fib 1, 2, 3, the highest fib extensions. Actually, pardon me, friends. We're on fib number 1 right now. And we've actually like basically hit this zone here. It's about 100K. And I've drawn it right here. It's actually funny, exactly 100K. Okay, you got to remember, friends, you can't use it on a log chart. The log chart gives you too many cope numbers, okay? So the number is actually 100K. Very funny to put it on here. This is exactly where we stopped, the first fib extension. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So that might be the parabola, as we say. So like if we repeat the price structure behavior of 2017, what happens is it pings off to like the second fib, comes back here, scares everyone. The next one goes up to the higher one, and then we don't know what happens after that point. Because in 2017, it actually just kept blowing up, and it came back here and went up higher. But you never know, man. It comes up here, maybe everyone thinks it's over, and they're like, oh, the bear market started, and then you have like a shock move at the end, where it's actually alt season wave number 2 happens up here, and then everyone's got it wrong, but then the bear market starts, okay? That would be, what I'm drawing is literally exactly this 2017 structure, okay? So it would be a ping, and then a pong, and then a ping, and a pong, and then what? We don't know what happens after that point, right? Are we going to go believers cycle again, or are we just going to be down? Hopefully by that point, we've taken profit and stuff. I really, really hope, man, Peter does something unique, because you understand, friends, like, man, what you actually need is, if you're curious, friends, a lot of people ask, even Mr. Computer Guy Store, a lot of people ask, friends, like, what do you take profit into? What do you take profit into? In crypto, right, you cannot go wrong. Historically, well, not financial advice, okay? I'm just telling you, based off the stats, after 15 years of data, and some say data, you can't go wrong if it's half Bitcoin, half USD, okay? Also, my friend at a computer store as well, he said, Terra Luna went to 0 last cycle. I was buying the dip. And I was like, oh, crap. So he said, which stablecoin? I was like, look, I think they're going to be okay this time, but don't quote me, okay? I'm hopefully Peter is $1. Then you can earn yield. But that's it, friends. That's it. You literally can't go wrong. Why can't you go wrong with 50-50 Bitcoin and USD? If the bull market, let's say, I'll show you again, right? Let's say that Bitcoin keeps running up. Let's actually say, friends, we go to, let's say Bitcoin's like 170K, right? And you don't know where we're going to go from that point, up or down, right? Think about this. If Bitcoin's 170, if we go down, guess what? You've got Bitcoin, you've got US dollars, thank God. Because your US dollars can buy anything you want. Like, just in case a bear market starts, right? You have US dollars. You just wait. You wait 12 months, buy again. 12 months, okay? That's if it goes down, okay? What happens if you go up? If it goes up, right? When it starts distributing, you've got your BTC. You could use your BTC to rotate in if you really wanted to participate in some last leg momentum alt season wave 2 stuff. Do you see? That's why statistically in the past, taking profit, half Bitcoin, half USD, you can't go wrong. But is this time going to be different? Maybe. Maybe this is the one you got to take into Ethereum. So traditionally, what I was always thinking of doing is BTC and Ethereum. Now Ethereum's cucked. And look, here's the thing. If there's a big alt season, friends, Ethereum's not going to be ETH BTC here, probably. It's probably going to be up here, right? So, like, do you want to buy ETH BTC after it rallies 250% in a row and it's like hitting this fib level? That's the thing as well. Okay, I know, friends, you got anxiety. I mean, well, welcome to the club, bro. We've been waiting 4.5 years. This is the whole game. So there you go. Okay, you can't go wrong with, half BTC, half USD. And then maybe if you want, you could slice some Ethereum into some of that chunk, right? So yes, Arthur Hayes talking about fiscal deficit spending and stablecoin issuers and everything. It's all contributing to basically that pump, I guess. 250K by the end of the year. I really hope Bitcoin's 250K in December, because then I'm like, you know what, man? I don't think it's going to be an extended cycle. The thing that would screw us is if Bitcoin's about 150K. Okay, if it's 150K, what I mean by screw, it's just like, okay, now we're really a believer cycle, right? If Bitcoin is 150 and Ethereum's like 5 or 6, right, by the end of the year, and it comes here, this is going to be the tough one. If we actually do this, right, because remember how many times I told you, look, I hate to admit it, but this is true. We have to get rid of the 4-year cyclers. Yeah, we have to. And they're selling now, by the way. They're selling now. They're ready to sell soy as soon as it pops above 250. So they're ready to sell, okay? And to believe a cycle. We'll see. Jim Cramer has suggested buying Bitcoin as a hedge against debt, saying he's worried about his kids' future. And I've written, this confirms that the Bitcoin dominance is in. Remember, Jim Cramer is the inverse oracle god. Here we have Uncle Jimmy. Let's go listen to Uncle Jimmy now. Very low volume, friends. Yeah, so friend, just to let you know, Jim Cramer gets absolutely blasted on the wine right before he goes in. He's always blasted now. Yeah, he's been in the job for too long. That's kind of fun. He's drinking on the job. I love seeing that, by the way. He's just had enough, bro, of markets. He's had enough. So yeah, Uncle Jimmy Cramer. Just look, fans, quote me. Okay, you can quote me on this one. I've seen this in markets, man. Okay, I've seen this, but I've been on the other side of this stuff. I've gotten trucked by this stuff. Okay, there will be a moment where all of us think Bitcoin dominance has to go up on a move, and it will do a shock move down. Okay, there will be a time like that. And it will be, you won't expect it, and I won't expect it. It'll come out of nowhere, and we're like, how's Bitcoin dominance going down? Well, it's going to make us do that. All right. And then I'm going to be like, well, look at that. We really did have too many non-believers who have overpriced Bitcoin relative to altcoin. It will happen. And it will be a shock move, right? Look, think about like some of the biggest Bitcoin treasury holders. What you can do, friends, you can go to bitcointreasuryaries.net, which is right here, bitcointreasuries.net. And if you go here, there are all the holders of Bitcoin. Look, friend, I'm just telling you, man, some of these, we're literally going to see them rotate. Okay? Someone's going to do it. They're just going to, they're just, like, you never know, like, you know, Clean Spark, not to be confused with Dirty Spark. Clean Spark, I don't know what it does. Sounds like something for the bedroom, some cleaning utility. Clean Spark, Sparkles. Imagine they got 12,600 BTC. Imagine they go, you know what? Let's rotate about half of it into Ethereum. Let's have half and half. 6,000. And then that might start the rotation. And they all play the ETH-BTC ratio. I know you don't believe it now, but you'll see. If the prices go up high enough, they'll do it. Roca Negra's Ethereum spot ETF has bought 115,000 Ethereum for 425 million. So now we're seeing more reports on meth buying, which is going to confuse everybody because, friends, look, I don't know if you've used Soylana, but people are like sick and tired of getting rugged by these copy trader scams who are pushed at the top of these leaderboards as having skill when all they're doing is literally rugging and dumping on people after a few seconds of holding. Because, you know, friend, there's a lot of these young, impressionable kids. They don't know that, look, man, everything you're going through, because you're a little loser and you're going to get crushed and you're going to learn the lesson in about 4 to 8 years, everything you're going through has been done before. Yeah? While you're spending all your days on this 15-second attention span, brain rot, TikTok generation filth, why don't you go spend 15 seconds to learn a bit of history? There were the Forex scammers. There were the stock scammers. Okay, we had the tech bubble scammers. We even had Railway Mania. Go learn something instead of subscribing $12.99 to a 4 out of 10 girl for her feet pics on the internet because you're a little cuck. How about you take some time out of your life to go learn a bit of history? Not her story, his story. You will find you are literally living it exactly the same thing. You're following scammers, okay? They have the cleanest feet in crypto, and we know why. But you know what, friends? They're going to have to learn their own way. You know what I mean? They have to learn their own way. So, you know, I don't waste my time. You know, it's like someone has to come buy my top. You believe in nothing. You believe in nothing. It'll come. It'll come. Binance CZ says the alt season index is ticking up. FOMO season soon. Yeah, man, we hope so. You know what I mean? It all comes with that business cycle. Hopefully we get a big thrust. Trump's World Liberty Finance has bought 6,100 meth for $23 million. Once again, friends, like it might really come down to, oh, the Trump family was buying Ethereum the whole time. You know, that's how you knew it was going to go up. It could come down to that. Binance BNB has flipped Rolls-Royce in market cap, and so it should. Binance fans, remember, Binance BNB, it's the TradFi guy's first step into crypto. Because BNB, it is a network, but it's backed by, in their minds, right? It's backed by the actual exchange, and it's a unicorn exchange. So it really is a proxy for them to get in because they know Binance does a lot of volume and they're comfortable with that. A lot of these institutions, they're not comfortable with like how networks work and investing into early cities because they're stock market boomers. Friends, a lot of these funds, they're hotel cocktail enjoyers. Because these funds, they don't even trade their own money. They're trading other dudes and dudettes' money, and they're taking a fee of their performance fee, and they're underperforming holding anyway. Once they all figure out that they're cucks, things are going to change, right? But it's not going to change until they see the prices up. You know what I mean? Goldman Nutsacks and Bank of Watermelon have launched tokenized money market funds on blockchain, targeting the $7 trillion industry with backing from Negra and Infidelity. So once again, friends, StableCoin SuperCycle confirms again, literally again, StableCoin SuperCycle. This is a ping pong coin, by the way. Could be a stable ping pong coin. That'd be funny. PayPal and Venmo have launched PayPal World, a global platform connecting major payment systems and digital wallets to ease cross-border payments in partnerships with these 10Pay and other dudes out here. I just want to show you this like advertisement. Whoa! Wow! Cool! Noise, pictures, flags, colors. Whoa! Honestly, I don't know what the hell that is. What is that, bro? What is that? I don't know what the hell it is. It's just, oh, drums, and then and it's over. Okay, thank you. Friends, you see what I mean? Like these guys in boomer worlds, man, they just don't get it, man. Like with this, they're getting old and they're in a bit of disbelief. They just don't connect with what's popular now. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And yeah, when you see payment solutions and digital wallets, it's stable coins every time. Stable coins every single time. StableCoin SuperCycle keeps confirming. Citadel Securities have urged the corrupt SEC to proceed cautiously on tokenized securities, warning streamlined rules could create investor confusion and an uneven playing field. So this is rubbish, right? Why I've shown you that is because see how crypto's winning? We're winning so much. Citadel are now going to the corrupt SEC and begging them, please, please stop the crypto adoption. Please, we don't know how to compete with 24/7 trading. That's effectively what they're saying. So you know how this ends, friends? This ends with Meet Kevin and Jeremy Lafufu, Andre Drake, the big stock market guys. They say, you know what? I'm up 4.5 million in the past few years. Let me throw 300 grand into crypto. That's how it ends. Okay. And you want that. You want that. Okay. That's the end game. In case you missed it, Senator Cynthia Lummis blasts major loser Jay Powell, accusing him of building a modern-day palace at the Fed's headquarters and mismanaging Choke Point 2.0. I love Cynthia, man. She's awesome. So look at her. On you, girly. Go, Cynthia. So it's calling out the corruption. Remember, major loser. Look, why are they corrupt? I'll tell you why you're corrupt. You pumped every Ponzi in the world but my bags. Major loser Jerome Powell. Everything. Real estate, up. Stocks, up. Dog shit, up. Literally, Johnson & Johnson baby bum powder, up. Everything's up. Gold's up, bro. What about my altcoins, huh? What about the little guy, little girl, little pup, little squirrel? Bitcoin miner Mara plans to raise up to $1 billion via 0% convertible notes to buy more BTC. So, friends, what we're going to see is, just to let you know, how we know it's the beginning of the end is there'll be a big raise and it won't fill. Okay? It won't fill. Something like that will happen. Hopefully, it comes straight from MicroStrategy. But yeah, because that'll be like an obvious clear signal. So there will be something at the end. It shows you've run out of buyers and it'll be euphoric. But the crowd will be in complacency mode. Right? They'll be like, no, we just got to cool off. They'll say, no, people aren't buying now because they're scared about whatever the next world event thing is. We just got to get through that and they'll be okay. And I'll be saying, nah, man, like, bro, they've been raising money for literally 3.5 years. This is the first time they can't even feel anything anymore. Now we've gone up only. Everybody's in pro crime season, pro everything season. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're building up towards. We're not there yet. Upexi Treasury has bought 83,000 soy for $16 million, now holding 80 million of Soylana. So just to show you, world friends, I'll cover it again in our Yummy update, but Joe McMahon, friends, speaking of Soylana, Joe McMahon, I reported on yesterday, he has shut down his fund that's down 78%. Because, man, look, he did a mad trade. He got in a bonk early. He said it's the beat on soy. It's kind of funny, bro. Like, Joe, I hope you got humbled with this, bro. You went on, I was watching you, bro. I was watching you parading your rounded elbows all over podcasts going, Soylana was so obvious. Soylana. Oh, Soylana adoption. This guy holds a turbo long Sol ETH ratio up here. He got blasted to bits. The fund is down 78%, bro. How are you down 78% this year when we've just gone up since the bottom? It's because he's short Ethereum under $2,000. He went on to Scott Melker's podcast. Yeah, this is pretty much Ethereum going up. Short Ethereum. Now he's had to pretty much close down the fund. Everything I warned you about in 2023 has come true. I said, be careful of people who get big wins and then they get on your radar when you didn't know who they were a year ago, because now you're going to follow them thinking they have a 90% win rate, when no, actually they're on a really hot streak. They've actually got more like a 60% win rate, and to get from 90 to 60, they're going to trade at 30% win rates for a while, just as you get in, and you're going to get rugged. So, if it was so obvious of the Soylana adoption, how come you're literally the only guy in the world who said Ethereum was expensive under $2,000 and it just went up only? So obvious, right? And think about this, friends. Like, when I'm showing you this, okay, I'm coming from a place of friendship. But bro, friends, the guy went on Scott Melker's podcast telling us Ethereum's going to zero here, bro. Look, you could not be more intergalactic wrong. You know what I mean? My gosh. But you know what, friends? Like I said, man, there's a lot of hotel cuck chairs out there, and there's a lot of people to fill the places. Donald Trump has said the housing is lagging and families are hurting because too late major loser Jerome Powell won't cut rates. Pump my bags, bro. Pump my bags, okay? Just pump my bags. Latest. Brazil's top fund management firm, Vert, launches a blockchain platform on XRP Ledger to manage private credit operations. The first transaction is issuance valued at 130 million. So, bro, what's going to happen is, friends, XRP is going to go up, and then these institutions, so this is what happens, right? They get onboarded by like XRP and stuff, and then they realize no one's actually using it, and then they move off later in the bear market. XRP community, doesn't matter. They got an army. So that's usually what happens, okay? Just to let you know, friends, you know, XRP's dominance peaked at 30% in 2017. Yeah. So the market said, oh, XRP's payment solutions are the future. XRP is the answer. And then they were wrong. Now XRP dominance is only like 3%. Why? Or whatever it is. Okay. It's way down. Actually, I'll just show you the chart. Here you are right here. So this is where XRP went absolutely bonkers. It peaked at 31%. That means 1/3 of the crypto industry was literally XRP. Right? And why was the market wrong? Well, the market was wrong because, wow, you dropped 96%, bro. So it was right and it was wrong. It was right in terms of payments are the future of crypto. It was wrong because XRP wasn't the answer. Okay? The answer was Ethereum. Okay? Because Ethereum has smart contracts. XRP had nothing. You know, friends, back then, XRP didn't even have a stable coin. So how XRP, their system is meant to work is when you transfer money, it instantly buys XRP and then instantly sells it on the other side. Okay, which is literally the most retardio system I've ever heard. When Ethereum just let you do stable coins, right? They have a smart contract functionality. And after all these years, XRP, Ripple guys, the dev and stuff, they finally admitted that doesn't work. I mean, like, we know, duh. And now they've just made their own stable coin. So they're just copying Ethereum pretty much, right? So hopefully we get some sort of mania and stuff out here, but I'm just showing you, yeah, markets are really volatile, man. So the market was right, yeah, payments are the future, but the world's becoming more digital. So sending money through banks is analog stuff. That's old system. That's boomer stuff. The new world is trading digital items. When we swap network effects and swapping items, swapping NFTs, swapping anything, right? That's what we're doing on Ethereum. Check this out. Vertical farming tech firm Nature's Miracle has launched a $20 million XRP treasury program, becoming one of the first public companies to adopt XRP as a core reserve strategy. It's probably paid for by Ripple, by the way. We'll probably find out later on. Ripple paid these companies because they have money on the balance sheet. But you know what? They've been dumping on the community forever, so I guess do that. Whatever. Robinhood has launched Ethereum and Soy staking for US customers. So just to let you know, friends, the new people coming in, a lot of people, once again, my computer friend guy, he was curious because Trust Wallet gives you Ethereum 4% yield. And he's like, this looks like a Ponzi. Where does the yield come from? But how it comes from, Bitcoin mining gives you yield as well. But they just don't call it yield. They just use the word mining. But you're actually earning yield. You're earning yield. The network's just paying you that. And Ethereum does the same thing, right? But you don't have to buy Ethereum hardware to get in. You buy the Ethereum token itself, and that lets you stake, right? So the yield there, 4% is nothing, right? 4% is it's coming through the inflation, and there's nothing, okay? Once we start to see the 40% crankers, it's Ponzi time, baby. That's when you start to get worried. Bo Hines says, the President's Working Group on Digital Assets will release its 180-day report on July 30th, positioning the USA as a leader in digital assets. I also wanted to show this to you as well, friends. This is, just to show you this. So a lot of people, look, friends, there is no edge in tracking social volume and price stuff because they all correlate. Okay, so look at this. As the price goes up here, social volume's going up. You see this? Social volume, the green part. Okay, and then also see it spikes on the top here, comes back down, builds up here. Donald Trump comes back down. So, but it's nice. You know, people want to look at different data and stuff out here. I mean, I check my YouTube. That there's no it's funny, man. It all moves the same way. It all moves the same way. You know, as the price goes up, my subscribers and views go up. As the price goes down, they collapse. Up together, down together. That's what happens, right? That's for most people. Okay, so that's why, like, there's no look. You don't get this free formula where you get to get some formula, find out the people in a network, and then buy something down 90% because it's like valued much higher. This doesn't work like that. Okay, it's more like everybody's awake and everybody's asleep. Yeah, you got to find stuff where the market is pricing something as dead, where it's sleepy mode, and you believe, because you don't know, you believe the sun's going to come up one day and everyone's going to get really loud. That's Pulse Chain, for example. Yeah, because right now, friends, there's 170 content creators, but if you check Twitter, I think maybe only 40 are active. About a third are active, 40 to 50. Yeah. But there are 170. And I know for a fact, Hex gets back to 5 or 10 cents. Pulse Chain goes 2x sack price. They're all coming back and more, right? I mean, I don't really know that, but you know, you can see every time we go up 2%, everybody yells, right? So that's what the market's not getting now because the market doesn't believe it. Because what happens is, see, in crypto, everybody's got limited capital. So when something else moves, instead of people bringing outside capital from their bank account, what they do is they grab the fastest liquidity source they can to go chase something. And they just kept getting chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped. And then the thing that they've been selling the whole time has run out of all the coins to sell. Then it finally pops. Okay, that's basically what happened to XRP after 5.5 years. Okay, so hopefully our bags continue to pump. Where are we going to go from here? BTC, friends, hopefully we go and crank up to that 150K level. And then we'll talk about the next rinsing. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you in the next one.